Hello, good morning, dear students. Welcome to KLS Gopte College of Commerce. This is Professor S.B. Bendigiri, Department of Economics, taking online classes for 6th semester students. Dear students, in the last class, we have discussed about the meaning and concepts of national income. In today's topic, let us understand the continued part of the concepts of national income. Especially if you are looking at the India's national income position in the world. In 2002, India was in the 11th position, largest position in GDP national income in the world ranking. And in 2010, India stood at 10th rank in the national income, and first rank stood by USA. Okay, America stood first place in the national income in 2010, and in the second position China was there. China, if you are looking at China's point of view, China is the largest country in the world in case of population. It is in the first rank in population, but it was in the second rank in national income by 2010. Look at the India's position. India is in the second rank in national, for example, population, and it stood 10th rank in national income. If you are looking at this ratio, this data information, it is very clear information. It gives the clear picture of national income. India is lacking behind in the GDP national income compared to the neighbor country like China. Okay, China is growing very fast, and the GDP growth rate is looking very fast. The average growth rate of GDP national income is very fast compared to India. Okay, so with this we are able to understand we are lacking behind in case of national income. Okay, this is the diagram for that. Now look at the India's world GDP ranking. Country's rank is in 4th. India is having 4th rank in GDP in world ranking. The GDP purchasing power parity was 4.6 trillion as of 2010. So we are planning to have 5 trillion economy, but we are very close to reach that 5 trillion economy, as we are in the position of 4.6 trillion as of 2010. The contribution of agriculture sector to the national GDP is 18.5% as of 2010, and contribution of industrial sector in GDP is 26.3%, and contribution of agricultural sector, that is by mistake I have mentioned it as agriculture sector is repeated there. It is more than 40%. Okay, it is more than 40%. Contribution of service sector to the national GDP is more than 40%. Okay, so look at the population of the country. As of 2011, India's population was 125 crore, but at present, as of 2019, 136 crore population is there. Look at the unemployment rate, 5.64% in 2010, and it is 5.36% in 2019. If you are looking at this data information, unemployment rate is slowly coming down. It was 5.64% in 2010, and in 9 years, from last 9 years, it is looking downfall. We are going to we are trying to decrease the unemployment rate by providing employment opportunities in different sectors. Okay, now look at the most important topic. This is, my dear students, 5 marks question in the examination, and they may also ask as 15 marks, but very interesting topic, that is methods of measurement of calculating national income, means methods of measuring national income. Most important topic to understand, very easy topic to attempt in the examination. Question is very interesting, and most of the times this question was there in the previous year question papers, either in 5 marks or else 15 marks. So methods of calculating national income. I have given one picture here in a diagrammatic manner. In a slide I have shown 3 important squares. Okay, in that boxes 3 different methods are there. Production method is there, income method is there, expenditure method is there. So it means what? The national income of the country is always calculated by these 3 important heads. Any countries of the world following the same methodology while calculating the national income. These are the basic heads, the methods, the concepts for calculating national income. Okay. Few countries may adopt only one method in this. Few countries of the world may adopt 2 methods. Sometimes these 3 methods can be for example adopted by different countries, but all 3 methods gives the same result of the national income when we are going to calculate. If you are calculating national income with the help of production method or inventory method, result will be same. If you are calculating national income on the basis of income or else expenditure, result will be same, for example. But at a time all these 3 methods cannot be, for example, adopted. By these 3 we can adopt any one. Okay, so all these 3 gives the same result at the end of the day while calculating the national income. Okay, look at the first one. National income of the country may calculate by the product method. This method is also known as inventory method. Okay, in this method, if a country calculates the national income, the final or market value of all goods and services which are produced in a country in a given period of time, usually 1 year. So the market value or the final value of all goods which are producing in the country, if you are taking those values into consideration, we are going to calculate the exact income of the nation. Okay, and in this product method, it ignores intermediate goods and second hand sales of goods. Okay, so intermediate goods are very important for the production of final goods. So what happens here, the single resource can be used more than 1 time, more than 2 times, 3 times, 4 times, but all the time that intermediate good cannot be comes into calculation for the national income. And second hand goods, once goods are purchased in the market, after using those goods for next 5 years or 10 years, if you are selling it in the market again, so that good will be second hand good. The value of that goods will not be for example added in the national income of the country, and this avoids double counting. Double counting is a dangerous for example problem while calculating the national income. Double counting means when a product is coming into calculation more than 1 time or 2 times, the calculation of the national income will be coming wrong. It gives the wrong result at the end of the day. Okay, so product method is always trying to avoid the double counting of the goods. Okay, now look at the second one, income method. In this income method, income of the entire country, income from all the factors of production like rent, wages, interest and profit. Okay, and income of the firms, individual income, business income, households income. Okay, income of the state government, income of the central government, income of the non-government organizations. Okay, income from abroad. So when we collect all the income sources of income, then we can find the accurate national income of the country. The income approach is shown on one half of the circular flow. Okay, and firms make factor payments to households. As I said, all firms should make their payments for different factors called land, labor, capital, and organization. These factors earns rewards like rent, wages, interest, and profit. If you are taking into consideration that rewards of the factors of production, that is called as income method. Okay, income from abroad, income from state and central government, households, firms, businesses, individual income. So all the income where you are going to take into account, then finally you will get the exact national income of the country. This is about the income method for calculation of national income. Coming to the next one, that is expenditure method. Expenditure method is nothing but it is as good as for example, it is related to income method. It means one's income, a person's income may expenditure of others. Okay, so here what happens when firms are for example paying different factor payments to the factors, that becomes the income of all factors. Again, the income which is spent on purchasing goods and services, that becomes the expenditure from factor side, and income for example from producer side. So one's income is always expenditure of others, one's expenditure is always income of others. For example, if you are going to calculate national income on the basis of expenditure method, we are going to take into account these various aspects in that consumption in expenditure, investment expenditure, government expenditure. Government expenditure means state and central government purchases. While government purchasing different goods and services or different any other, for example items, for that government is to pay huge amount of money. So that becomes the expenditure from government side, state government expenditure, central government expenditure, net exports expenditure, expenditure on imports. Okay, and individual expenditure, business expenditure, for example. Okay, so like this all types of expenditure comes under the calculation of national income. Okay, here consumption involves spending on services, durable goods and non-durable goods. Consumption expenditure means it always depends on what we are going to purchase in the market. We are going to get different services like hotel management, communication, whatever, etc., etc. We are having different services. For that we need to pay something. We are going to spend on durable goods and non-durable goods. So this is also a kind of expenditure on consumption. Every day we are going to spend huge amount of money on consumption purpose. So the entire consumption expenditure comes under the calculation of national income. Okay, look at the further part of the expenditure approach. Here investment is gross private domestic expenditure on new capital goods, depreciation and inventories. Whatever we spent on gross private domestic expenditure and for new capital goods, purchasing for new capital goods, equipments and depreciation charges and inventories, for example. Okay, investment also includes household purchases of durable goods, purchase of existing buildings and machines, purchase of stock and financial assets. So everything, whatever amount of money we spent on various purposes in the country, that's all comes under the calculation of expenditure method. Government expenditure includes spending on goods and services but excludes transfer payments. Okay, if you are looking at government expenditure, it includes spending on goods and services and excludes transfer payments. Whatever amount of money transferred from one account to another account, one person to another person, that is not comes under the calculation of government expenditure. Net exports is equal to exports minus imports. Okay, so here GDP includes consumption plus investment, consumption expenditure, investment expenditure, government expenditure plus expenditure on exports as well as imports, for example. Okay, this is all about the methods of calculating national income. With this, let us stop today's discussion. The remaining part of the same topic we shall discuss in the next class. Okay, till then, thank you very much.